Well, yeah, I mean, you should have never done that. Now I know where you're. Now you're behind the.
I'm gonna have to get back on and come back in.
Maybe.
I can't straighten out. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me do something real quick.
Hi, Bill. How's it going there?
I screwed my picture up.
Well, it's not a big loss, John.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
You know, it's not like we're looking at Matthew McConaughey or something.
I thought we were. No, he just popped up on the screen. You did. We're looking at you now, Bill.
Hey, Bill, is that your biggest fan up top of you?
What?
Do you use a computer?
Who? What'd you say?
Your fan, is that your biggest fan above your head? I can't see you.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, I see. I'm sorry, brother. All right.
Yeah, now we can see you.
All right, I thought this was going to be easy, but I already see we're getting into technical crap.
Well, it's all right. Hey, Bill, well, we were thinking because it's a week of Sam's birthday. That how great would this be for you guys to get together? I don't know when the last time you spoke with Randy at all or whatever, but
I talked to him right before he died.
And that was the last, right before
that
Sam.
was that's back in 19. I don't know who this guy you have on here is.
I'm an imposter.
Okay. No, I'm talking about Randy, not Sam. I'm talking about Randy.
I was too.
Oh, okay. So it's been a long time then. So he I'm sure he'll remember you. Hopefully, anyway. I guess he'll be surprised anyway. That's for sure.
Hey, Bill. We were just talking about your preaching and how, we grew up Catholic and everything, and how everything was so staged in the Catholic Church. And I said to Frankie that if you could jump out behind that podium, you'd be running around like a nut, wouldn't you? If you were up on stage or something. You look like you want to jump out of your suit and start screaming.
Yeah, I couldn't stand still.
I know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You barely stand still when you're preaching this on your house. See you move around and yelling and screaming. I watched on Sunday, this past Sunday, by your Christmas tree and everything. I'm surprised that you don't grab that thing of water that you drink or whatever and get so intense and you actually throw it at your wife or whatever. I'm trying to heal you, honey. I'm trying to heal you.
Well, that's holy water. I'm afraid that it would blisters and stuff would rise up on it.
Yeah, well, you're drinking that though. It's whatever you're drinking. Are you drinking that holy water?
So he drinks iced tea, don't you, Bill? Or
is that big bug?
No, I don't. I just drink iced tea.
Oh, okay. Well, iced tea, then throw it right on the camera because you're really getting intense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then I'd be moving in with John or you or somebody.
We want to do like 1 week. We want to do an exclusive interview with you and your wife together.
Well, now that would be interesting. I don't know if we've ever done one together.
That would be cool. First time
ever
on my show.
It would. Yeah, it would.
Yeah, because she knows behind the scenes all the time, and we hear her voice, but we never really see her at all.
Right.
Well, she was on there last. If you'd have stayed and watched the whole thing, you'd have seen her because she came on camera.
Her. I did. I did see her.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, I stayed for the whole thing. I watched it while I was at work.
She did that for her boyfriend.
Because you do it on Sundays. I watch it at work at the casino when I go to work at about 2 o'clock, and I put her on and watch it. Never been told to turn it down yet once at all. So. I'm not in the casino itself. I'm in the key control room, so it's like in the security office. I'm not in the casino floor watching.
Yeah.
But
well, for the people watching, we got Bill KINISON on. If you don't know who Bill KINISON is, he's a famous preacher, one of my best friends, and he's a brother of Sam KINISON, folks. I mean, you don't get any better than this. But,
they're just 83% of your crowd just went, I'm out of here.
Was he the guy that was here a few weeks ago? It's like,
yeah, really.
Yeah, and we got after everybody about them leaving. Everybody seemed like they had the wrong information or something. It's like you didn't have to leave a bill. Yeah. So hopefully next time we get you on when we're on the show, that they'll stick around because you're a big deal to us anyway. So regardless if you think that or not, we love you. And that's why I wanted to include you in this interview because it's like nostalgic, and you'll feel nothing but nostalgia. And after what
Yeah,
So
we
what-
definitely love you. We definitely
So
love you, bro.
when is Randy supposed to come on?
about 6:30, so another about 10 minutes,
Oh, okay.
maybe, or
Yeah.
8 minutes, or
No,
Well,
I
I
haven't seen Randy in a long time.
okay.
One of the greatest guitar players I know.
Yeah, we were. I watched the special, the Family Entertainment Hour special. Just get ready for this.
Yeah,
And,
he was on there. Yeah.
oh man, it was a good time. I had my surround sound on, and it was just jamming. And Sam, I didn't realize how good of a singer he really was too. And he could have probably done more of if he was still been alive. He really was good.
He's almost as good as I am.
Almost.
Bill heard me sing, huh, Bill?
Yeah, I have. Actually, I heard you sing to about 1,500, 2,000 people.
Yep.
Yep. Up there at
Wow,
that
thing.
saloon or whatever that was next door.
Yeah, Joe Santana.
Yeah, that was it. Oh well, yeah, that was the band. I'm
Right.
still good friends with him, man. We
Yeah,
still
he's a
talk
good
all the
guy.
time on Facebook. He is a good guy.
He's a good
Yeah.
dude, man. Yeah, I ran into him after that deal. We ran into him at Daytona.
Oh yeah,
You
he
know what
would
I
be
mean?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard, honestly, God, we all pulled up on our Harleys. We're standing in this parking lot, and I hear this band, and I told my friends, that guy sounds familiar. I think that's my buddy. We went in there. They gave me a little time on stage to do the comedy act, and then I did the singing, wild thing, and everyone went nuts, dude.
Oh,
Went
yeah.
nuts.
We do
Yeah.
hear some background noise though. Is that your TV on there, Bill?
Well, yeah, I got to watch something when it gets boring.
Oh, it won't get boring, Bill.
Oh, really? He's on.
Oh,
Hey.
this is his manager, Kevin. How's it going, Kevin?
Oh, all's good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, we're doing great. Say hi to Screaming Sam and say hi to your old pal Bill or Bill KINISON.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Sam.
How you doing?
Is it?
All's
Is
good.
this Randy?
No, this is Kevin, but Randy's about to be on.
Kevin. All right.
He's yeah, he doesn't know the Zoom stuff, so I had to. Here we go. Okay, let me put this on here, and here's Randy.
There it is. Hey, what's up, man? How's it
Hey,
going?
how you doing?
Good to see you again. It's been a couple years since the last time we spoke. How you been?
I'm telling you, this guy's an imposter. Randy HANSEN died in 2019. I was at his deathbed,
You were?
and I remember he looked up at me, and he said, "I'm going to go see Gavin, Bill." And I go, "Well, it's going to be a hot place then."
Yeah.
What are you doing, Randy?
Oh, and just hanging out. We just got finished rehearsing.
I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. It's been years.
Yeah, you too, man.
We had some good times, didn't we?
Yeah, Bill, definitely. It was
That's
crazy,
awesome.
I talked about it. People say, someone just said to me last night, what was it like playing with Sam or hanging with Sam KINISON? I said, it was dangerous.
Yeah, and I had my hands full with all of you, but I loved you.
It was really fun, though. I was one of the funniest and fun times of my life. Definitely.
I bet it
You know
was.
what? You know what? I thought that the best I ever seen you was at Sturgis. Remember playing up there at Buffalo Chips?
When I climbed the fence and everything.
Yeah. And you was playing the guitar with your teeth.
Yeah, I remember that naked chick riding on the back of a Harley. She's riding on the back of a Harley, and like 14-year-old son is driving the damn thing.
Yeah. Is that?
And It was before
Do
they
you-
let anybody in. That was Buffalo Chip.
All I
I've
remember
been-
is they had a gal while you were playing, actually, before Sam ever came out there, they had a gal they were passing through the crowd.
Yeah,
And that was stark naked.
yeah,
And so at the end, now the people don't understand that the security up in Sturgis at Buffalo Chips is Hell's Angels.
Oh
right,
my
That
God.
that was our security.
right.
And so after the show was over, they had this trailer because it's different than it was now. Back now, you got like restaurants, everything else. But back in those days, remember they had these pop-ups and they were selling crap. And
Yeah,
and
and
I
Ryder
remember,
truck,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Ryder truck. There, people were
Yeah.
hanging out in the back of the Ryder, you know, because they were all unloaded, so there was a lot of
Yeah.
space, and they were just going in there and smoking weed and putting the pot, you know, and putting it down, and then they'd open it up and it was like, Spicoli, what are you doing? You know, like those
But-
clouds of smoke would roll out of the back of the thing. I remember there
Well,
was a
you-
naked one of those naked chicks was back there in the back of one of those trucks. And well, we're all in there smoking weed, and there's this naked chick back there. And I'm just going like, this is the strangest thing. I can't believe what goes on here. I had no idea that Sturgis was like that.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
it
it.
is. And then some.
And
Well,
wasn't that like the
actually-
50th? Wasn't that like the
that was the
50th?
50th anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the first time we had been there. Sam and I had never been to Sturgis.
I remember I had a videotape because I had a video camera back then, and I remember there was a part on there where Sam is looking. All you guys were on this corner of the
Yeah.
stage watching me on the, and Sam came around and saw me on the top of the fence, and he just started busting up laughing.
Well, he comes out, and it was my idea because we had taken a band with us on some tour, and of guys that Sam had put together. And so now we've been working with Randy, and we're getting ready to go up to Sturgis. And I had heard from the Woody that owned it, from Buffalo Chips, that Sam's not going to be able to get through his stuff. And
Yeah.
so I said, well, so I told Sam, I said, well, then screw these other guys, man. Why don't you just bring Randy and his band up here? They're the ones that play for you. And they know your music and everything else.
Yeah. And we
And
jammed
so-
with Sam there too. So
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so we brought Randy and his band. Well, they get out, and let's see. No, I think Sam performed before you did, didn't he? Or was
Yeah,
it the
he
other
did.
way around?
yeah, I'm not exactly sure about the order. I just remember Sam trying to tell his jokes, and he kept on getting interrupted by the bikers starting their
Well,
bikes up, honking
Yeah,
their horns.
instead of laughing, they would crank up their bikes. So if
Yeah,
Sam said something funny, you'd hear this because you had 30,000 bikes there.
yeah,
And so anyhow, Sam's up there, and so he comes over to the side of the stage, and I told Randy, I said, man, you guys got to stick around because I don't think Sam's going to go long on his routines here. So he comes over and he goes, dude, I can't get through my stuff. And I said, they just wanted you to show up, man. Bring Randy and his
Yeah.
band out here and just jam the rest of the night. And that's what you guys did.
yeah.
Well,
That's
I gotta
awesome.
get back-
That was really a strange night, you know, but
Yeah.
but a very fun night. But also, it's like I felt like I was getting my cherry popped or something, you know.
Well,
Really, it was
we got to get back to this gal. So they're up there and they're playing. Well, they're passing this gal around, and she hadn't got a stitch of clothes on, and they're passing her around, and so when the show's over, the security, which is the Hell's Angels, they bring this gal back to Sam. We're in a trailer because they don't have like buildings. And we're in a trailer. They bring this gal back, so we all leave and give Sam some privacy. And about a minute later, he's outside. And so I'm going, dude, you already took care of business? He said, took care of business. He said, man, when I saw her her hands. It looked like she'd been working on a car all day. And, and he goes, I'm not going back in there. And I go, well, we're not going back in there. That was a fun time.
No, she probably had her bike parked somewhere. You know, that
What?
lady that was on that one Harley, I mean, that looked like, I'm pretty sure that was her Harley. She didn't, she might have been the same lady.
Might have been.
You know, she had really long blonde hair, and I just went, wow, Lady Godiva on a Harley Davidson.
That's one of the best times I ever had with Sturgis.
Oh, yeah.
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 And I
Sam,
remember they had a Suzuki strung up like, you know, with a noose from a tree and set it on fire.
Yeah, they didn't like anything but Harleys up there.
Yeah, it was great.
And I drove a scooter.
Sam,
You
you
haven't
should tell,
lived.
Yeah,
I mean,
you did.
Really,
Yeah.
Sturgis, I really think Sturgis should be on everybody's bucket list, you know.
Oh,
if they
I
should
do
have been
too,
there.
man.
me too. I agree. Sam,
Yeah,
you should
that's
tell,
amazing.
Screaming Sam, you should
know,
tell
you could-
Kevin about yourself, or not Kevin, but Andy about yourself.
Yeah, just so
What's
you can
that?
say that's America, buddy, right there. There it is.
Yeah. You know, we can talk about it, but if you've never been to Sturgis, we can't make it exactly like it is because it's something you got to experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Screaming Sam,
Yeah.
you should tell Randy about yourself and who you are.
Hey, Randy, I used to be a tribute artist to Sam Kinison.
Wow, cool.
That's me in the background.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is me, right? This is when I did it.
You look exactly like him.
I don't know if you can see. That's me.
Wow, what a trip. That's a
Yeah.
total
First time I met him was a trip.
trip.
Very interesting story.
Wow.
So this is what Sam would look like if he was old.
Except that I think you'd still have more hair than him.
You know, I asked Sam one time, you know, what was the first joke you ever told on a stage? And he told me it was this joke. He said, he was at the, you know, where was he? He was the
Probably down
doorman.
in Houston.
He was the
Oh, the
doorman.
doorman, that was at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, he was at
Yeah.
the comedy store, and he was asking, I think Mitzi, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was asking her to, you know, finally, he was always begging her to let him on, you know. And
Yeah.
so she finally said, she finally said, okay, you're on. But it was like 4 a.m,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
all these drunks in there, you know, and they're not really laughing anymore. He goes, the best you could get out was a little, you know, titter. and so he went up there and he said, this is the first joke I told. He goes, he said, I wonder if you people out here, if you had somebody do something for you that was really nice. I mean, really nice. It was so nice. You just never forgot him for it, you know? And I want you to think about that person for a minute. And when you get his name or her name or whoever it is, I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down that name. Okay. And when all of you are through, I want you all to pass those pieces of paper up here to me so I can take them home and wipe my ass with them.
I forgot about that.
He said
Yeah,
that was the first
The
joke
people
he
that
told.
meant most to you, mom and dad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Write their name down. I want to wipe mine with it.
Yeah, he said they just lost it right then. And then she said, okay, you got to keep that screams shit in. You got to keep screaming like that. That was great, you know. And the way that the way that you told that joke was just like, bam, you know. Really
Yeah.
hit
That's
him
awesome.
hard. I heard a great joke. I don't know. You probably heard it. It was a farmer comes in to his bedroom and his wife's in bed and he's got a sheep under his arm. And the wife looks at him and says, no, he looks at his wife and he says, this is a pig I've been fucking. And then she says, that's not a pig, that's a sheep. And he goes, shut up, I'm talking to the sheep.
What the hell?
Oh God, Brandon.
I love that joke. I just think that's just great.
Yeah, that's a lovely. That's a good joke.
I think
You
Sam would
remember-
have loved that one.
You remember Gavin Menzies?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I known him for years. I know he committed
Oh, I
suicide.
did too. I did
Yeah.
too. He,
Yeah.
Kramer, and you was on that tour actually, and what Kramer endorsed us, and then they gave
Right.
Sam a custom-made guitar at the end with his face on it.
Yeah, I remember that guitar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I had a friend, and he was interested in buying the guitar, and I go, I'm not selling the guitar. And he goes, no, there's another guy online that says he has the guitar, and I'm going, who? Said some guy named Gavin, and so he wanted $10,000 for it. And so I
Did he
go, well,
really?
dude,
He
first,
didn't have
Sam,
it though, he didn't have it though, did he?
well, I stopped it, but he was going to sell it. And then so when I get a hold of him, he tells me, because I go, where did you get this guitar at? And he
Yeah.
goes, well, Sam didn't like the first one. The neck was too big or too little or something. And so he wanted me to get a hold of him to send another guitar to it.
Baloney.
And we
That's
never knew
baloney.
about it. We never knew about it.
Wow.
Sam and I never knew that he had ordered another. The only way I found out is I called Kramer, who's out of business.
Uh-huh.
And I asked him, I said, who designed Sam's guitar? And so they gave me his number, and I called the guy. So he's the one that told me, you know, what happened. That this Gavin said he was Sam's manager, and Sam didn't. He wanted a Kramer with a little less or whatever. But make a long story short, I get a hold of Gavin. And I'm going, Gavin, you got a guitar for sale? And he goes, yeah. You know, Sam gave it to me. I said, Sam couldn't stand you. And he goes, well, that's, you know, that's because I was staying clean and everything. I said, I don't care what it was. He couldn't stand you. So first, he never would have gave you a custom made guitar. And then knowing Sam and Randy knows, he never would have signed his own guitar.
That's right. There's no way. There's no way.
There's no way. Sam's ego wouldn't let him do that. And so then he hooked me up with a guy you probably know, Howard Lease.
Yeah.
And because Sam was using Howard's red guitar. Well, Gavin is thinking I'm really stupid, so he gets Howard on there, and Howard goes, "No, Bill, that's my guitar." And I go, "Howard, we're not talking about a Kramer. We're talking, you know, you're talking about your guitar, and I told Gavin to give it back to you because that belonged to you." And then he goes, "Well, then I'm out." And so I told him, I said, "Dude, if I see this thing for sale one more time, I'm gonna take legal action against you." And then I don't know, it had to be a couple years later. He probably died, or he died. I know, but it had to be like a couple years later.
Yeah. Yeah. He committed suicide.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He shot himself.
I had no idea, man.
He shot him in his family's house, at his dad's house. He shot himself.
Yeah, he was living with his mom. I knew that.
But you know, Gavin he's the strangest cat, because he would act like, for a minute, you know, he'd act like, oh, he's all nice and, you know, very catering and everything. and then all of a sudden, the worst thing you could possibly imagine would come out of his mouth, where you just want to go, what the fuck? And I go, did you just say what I think you said? Did you call me? What did you call me? You know, or something like that. You just call me an idiot. I go like, fucking, you know, he called me up one time and he wanted me. This is weird too, because now you're talking about Howard Lease. Howard Lease had Steve Miller's "Fly Like an Eagle" guitar. You know,
did he?
Fly Like an Eagle guitar, and he showed it to me, right? And then he was off in LA or something. He calls me up and he says, "Hey," because I was living in his house. He says, "I want you to go get that Fly Like an Eagle guitar out of such and such closet and get it out here and pack it full of heart T-shirts and then send it to this address." And so I did exactly that, right? But before I did, I played it. I plugged in all my gear and played it because I just wanted to see how it plays.
Yeah.
And so I sent it off, And then about 2 weeks later, I'm going to the Bohemian Grove. Do you know the Bohemian Grove?
Yeah.
You heard it?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm at the Bohemian Grove, and I meet Steve Miller, and he's like, and we're talking. And I go, man, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. Just 2 weeks ago, I was playing your guitar. And he goes, oh yeah, what guitar was that? And I said, the Fly Like an Eagle guitar from your cover. And he grabbed me by my shirt and he goes, tell me everything you know.
Wow.
Like that.
No way.
And I said, okay, well, Howard Leese had it. He goes, Howard Leese, huh? Okay. Yeah, go on. And I said, yeah. And I said, he says that he bought it off of this guy from a music store. Later on, I put this together. What Howard Leese did is I was at the studio, the record plant in San Francisco, when Steve Miller was there. I was there with Buddy Miles recording, and
Yeah.
Hart was there, and Jefferson Starship. These four bands were recording in that day. Well, that guitar was where it turned up missing from, and that's where Hart was that day, you know. And
Yeah.
and then it turns up at Howard's house, right? Well, this is how I know. That guitar came, according to the music store owner, who is a friend of mine. That guitar showed up at his store as just a left-hander. But a week before that, Howard had been in the store and said, "Hey, if I'm looking for a left-handed Strat, preferably black with a maple neck. If you see something like that, I'm really interested in something like that. I'd love to have a guitar that looked like that." And then a week later, this guy shows up with it, right? And then, but he just thinks it's a left-hander, blah 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 blah, right? So Howard buys it. He says for $800.
$800.
$800 he buys it for, right? From the music store guy. Then he's showing it to me. Suddenly he knows this is Steve Miller's guitar. How does he know that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so how does he know that's Steve Miller's guitar? It is Steve Miller's guitar. But what he did is he sent somebody in with it, had him sell it to the music store, but he put in that request a week before, and he remembered it, and he knew it was a quick sale. So,
Hey, Randy.
so
Hey, Randy.
that guy sold it to him for $6. He sold it to him for $8. He made $200 in a day.
Hey, Randy. This is this guitar is famous too.
Wow.
That's a Kramer.
Man.
Whose is that?
That was Sam Kinison's guitar.
Somebody stole that out of my house.
Somebody stole it out of your house?
Yes.
Holy shit.
I went to visit Bill and I ended up with a nice guitar. Thanks, Bill.
Wow, that is nice. Oh, it was you.
That was Sam's guitar on the Wild Thing.
Wow, that's cool. That's what he was playing? That's cool.
Yeah, and Wild Thing it was, yeah.
You know,
I want to tell everybody that Randy HANSEN. You're white, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's got to be Randy HANSEN then. And in Sam's opinion, my opinion don't mean anything. In Sam's opinion, he was the best guitarist he ever heard in his life. And Sam played with some great ones.
Oh yeah.
And he told me many times, not only that, you know, he would tell other people, said Randy HANSEN's the best I've ever played with. Now, I moved to Texas.
I knew some things about Sam that he didn't want out in public, and so I told him to say that, you know.
First, I don't think Sam was ever worried about anything being said to him. But this guy, you guys, I'm telling you right now, man, you're talking to royalty here.
Yeah,
Randy HANSEN.
Do
you still do your Hendrix impersonation?
Yeah, I just got back from Germany doing it and everything.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of different irons in the fire right now and everything. Yeah. I just did a music soundtrack for Mark Wahlberg's movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called
That's awesome.
Called Infinite. There's a guy in the movie whose they're suggesting is Jimi Hendrix reincarnated as a
Oh,
scientist.
okay.
But he's a scientist, but he takes a little break, a little smoke break, and he's playing the guitar. But they fucked up. They made him playing right-handed. And I was like, if I would have been there, I would have said, no, you need to flip that guitar over lefty, you know, because you can't see his
Yep.
fingers in this shot anyway. But it's me
Yep.
playing. It's me
Yep.
playing. And he's supposedly playing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Well, he's playing
Yeah,
it like when
whatever.
he played the Star Spangled Banner, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I heard him do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
that was
what
a good movie.
what I did for it. Yeah.
But I watched that on Paramount Plus when they released it before they put it on 4K. That was a good movie. Really had a good story and everything.
Yeah. That chase scene was pretty crazy. An indoor chase scene.
Uh-huh.
Reminded me a little bit of the Blues Brothers movie.
Yeah, but I like stuff like that. You know, it's always nice to have an action-packed film like that. You know, with stuff
Yeah,
like
you don't expect a car to be running through your office, you know, at
No.
60 miles an hour while you got to dodge, you know, get out of the way of your desk.
Sure. Well, we understand that it's also your birthday coming up too on Friday, and you and Sam share a birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah, it's the
Well, I
same
didn't know
birthday as Sam. Me and Sam. have
And
the same birthday.
and Lark Williams. You remember Lark from Vegas?
Yeah,
They-
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so her birthday's on you guys' birthday.
Happy
Wow.
birthday, man.
Yeah.
Wow. You know who else's birthday it was Jim Morrison.
Yep. Oh, and Sam would
They-
never let anybody forget that.
Yeah, and,
Him and Jim Morrison had the same
And-
birthday.
and Flip Wilson too.
Oh, Flip
I didn't know about Flip.
Yeah, they're all sons. Really, you know?
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
sons. KINISON, Hansen, Flip Wilson, Morrison.
That's right.
That's wild.
Sons, yeah. Isn't that weird? I'm a
So
sloth.
we're all God's children, though. Anyway, right?
That's
That's
right.
right. That's right. Well, you know what? I'm going to let you guys, because I've been dominating this. I'm going to let you
Oh,
guys
that's
go
all right.
ahead with
Well,
Randy, man. But
God, I love.
this made my night when John
Right,
called
you
me and
made
said
mine too.
Randy's going to be on tonight. I said, "Oh, come on, man."
What
You
a
can
cool
stay on, Bill.
surprise!
It don't matter.
You blow me away.
I just wanted to see if you guys remembered each other because I thought how excited would it be to do this week? You know, I've always
Oh, I would never forget Randy. Never.
Yeah.
Dude,
You
they don't understand life on the road. You get close.
Yeah,
sure.
You get close.
I
when you're
remember.
touring together.
I remember when Polly was with us, Polly Shore, and
Yeah.
and his bits were great too, you know. But I remember backstage at, I think it was the Wiltern Theater, Sabrina and Malika were back there talking to him, and he was still acting like the weasel, you know. And
He still is.
and,
And he's 50 years old.
and Malika looks at him and she goes, "Cut the weasel shit."
That's it.
You know?
That's him in a nutshell. Probably true.
Yeah, it was like, get real, will you? You know, you're not on stage anymore. Who's the real Polly Shore here? Who are you performing for? Why are you performing for us? Kind of thing, you know.
Sabrina has her own comedy thing now. She does her own comedy.
Oh,
I know
yeah. I bet
right,
she's tearing
really?
it up.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
love to hear that. I'd love to hear that.
I
She
don't
learned
think
from-
I do.
She learned from the best.
I don't think she learned either.
Oh, she did.
I saw a video of a person that kind of reminded me of Sam. There's a lady. I guess she clarifies herself as a lesbian because I guess that's where she is. Her name is Bear Webb.
It's just like Sam and yeah.
Ron White mixed together. You ever heard of her, Bill, at all?
What's her name?
Bear Webb. She looks like Ron White and Sam. Ron White and Sam had a baby. That would be your
Honest to God, Bill, I'll send you the link, Bill. You'll die.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You hear her scream and yeah, it's
Oh,
amazing.
that's great.
Yeah, she's
She's funny.
So yeah, I mean it's
Well, you know what one of the things I really dug about Sam was when he sang, and he could do the scream, that rock scream that everybody fucking wishes they could do, and everything and scream like you know, like Noddy Holder from Slade, or you know, he just could scream like fucking unbelievably easily, and it came easy to him. Where other people, if they're doing that, they'd have to go get an operation. You know.
Yep. Yep. Well,
So,
I
yeah.
used to, if you remember, I used to do Sam's sound checks because he wouldn't come
Yeah.
down and do it. And so we were in Vegas.
right.
You was with us, and we were in Vegas, and there was a band called the Dirty White Boys,
Yeah.
and they were part of this all-star, band behind Sam. And so
Right.
after we did the sound check, they tried to get me to be their lead singer, and I go, "You're out of your mind. I'm 40 years. I'm 40 years old, and who's going to manage Sam? You going to pay me as much as Sam pays me? I don't think so."
Now, who was Sam? What was Sam's bodyguard's name? What?
Which one?
The one that clocked that guy on New Year's Eve. The guy kept on going, Sam, Sam, like this, and he go, leave Sam alone. Sam, Sam, I told you, leave him alone. Sam, Sam, bam, like that. And he just clocked him, and totally
was that Rick Jones?
No, I think he's the guy that went to prison. He went to prison. I think he might have come back out and said, "Hey, Sam told me you take care of him, or that he would take care of me, or something like that."
No. I know the guy you're talking about. He went to prison because he stole Sam's car.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, went on tour.
Weird name,
and,
like Lyle or something like that. I can't remember what his name was, but I just remember
I don't
him.
know.
I was standing right next.
That's one that went to. But he did go to prison. So
Yeah, the guy that was going like this, and yelling that, was standing right next to me. And next thing I knew, he was on the floor, and it was like shocked the shit out of me. I've never seen a bodyguard do that to somebody before.
were we in Phoenix at that time at a strip club?
No, we were in Vegas.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we had a security guy that popped a sucker punched a guy in a strip club in Phoenix while we were there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We
had
back in the day,
we had
you
those
could get
things.
away with
But
this
anyway,
shit.
later on, I was walking through the casino in Vegas, and this guy popped out of a doorway that I didn't even know there was a door there. And he comes popping out with his buddy, and his cheek was just like way out here somewhere.
Oh, God.
Right where he got him, he just like bang like that, and he's just like,
Wait a minute, was the guy Korean, Gene Hall?
Yeah, Gene. That's him.
That was backstage at the Sands, I think.
Yeah.
And him and a little guy got in there.
Bam.
And sure enough, trouble started. And I remember he kicked this guy clear over the table. Gene did. Then you got this guy a little bigger than me, and so I take him down just to keep him out of it. But yeah,
Right.
that was at the Sands in Vegas. You're absolutely right, man.
Yeah.
Bringing back memories.
That's freaky.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
That is awesome.
Like I said, I felt like I was getting my cherry busted.
Only on Renegade Radio you can hear this stuff, folks. Only on Renegade Radio.
That's right. But we're happy that we're able to bring you guys together, because this is
It's great.
This is just who knew? I was just kind of worried that you guys, it's been so long, and it's like, how many stories do you remember? And all of a sudden, Billy starts up with one, and it's like,
I think it's awesome.
That's
Those
awesome.
are great
That is
times.
awesome.
Those are
I
great
wish I would have
times.
been around during that time, because I was just a little kid. I didn't know anything at that time.
I would love to hang out with you guys.
I don't know, man.
There's a special place.
You would have earned your stripes, I can tell you that.
There's a special place in my brain, and it's where all the Sam stories and everything are stored right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then just like, we were a troupe out there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys were really that close, because I just thought maybe, watching that family entertainment thing, I thought maybe, I knew he sang with you a few times, but I didn't know you guys were all like that close, hanging out with each other. I really didn't.
Oh yeah, that probably the last couple of years, Randy, you traveled with us.
Do you remember
Jeff?
Randy?
But yeah,
Do you
had to be
remember Jeff?
at least the last 2 years.
Do you remember that guy that was my guitar roadie? His name was Jeff. Kind of a
Yeah,
skittish guy. I
Yeah.
think that we finished the world's longest guitar toss successful with a catch. Because at
Did
one
you
of those
really?
one of those things in the round, I tossed my
Yeah.
guitar as hard as I could, and I swear it was like about 30 yards or something like that. And he caught it, and it looked like it had to hurt because the thing was just moving, when it hit and everything. And it was a Stratocaster; they're pretty solid, and he just bear hugged it as it got to him, and it didn't fall. I thought when I threw it, I go, he's never going to catch that. Why did I do that? And he did, and I was like, oh my God. And I threw it as hard as I could, and it was a good long ways. I never seen anybody throw a guitar that far and have a roadie catch it. I've seen
How many
people.
guitars you have?
Bruce, how many do I have?
How many guitars you own right
He's
now?
got to have a truckload.
I got way too many, really, I do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guitars from my history growing up, and I just romanticize about them. So whenever I see one that reminds me of my growing up, if it's for sale and it's a decent price, I have to have it,
That's
But
awesome.
I got a bunch. Yeah, I got way too many. I'm going to start selling them all, I think. Because what am I going to do with them all? I can't play them all anymore.
What about that one in the picture behind Sean? That
You got
that
this one
guitar.
right here?
Oh,
This one right here.
this one that
Had to point in the right direction there, down below.
it's like a Rickenbacker. Oh, that one that I'm playing there.
Yeah.
That's a lefty Hendrix model. That guitar is over in Germany right now.
Oh.
No kidding.
I keep a couple of guitars over there because it's hard to carry all this junk around.
Yeah, you guys. It seems like you go there like quite often. So overseas,
Yeah.
pretty big over there.
I have a duplicate of all my gear over there, so I don't have to bring.
Bill, do you realize how big of a superstar he is over there in Germany and overseas?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I tell you, crowds upon crowds.
That does not surprise me.
They're different over there too. They're just.
I was 70 years old, so I'm 74 now. I was 70 years old. I was still playing softball. I was on an all-star traveling team, and came there for a game, and we were all standing around there, and they keep talking about. They went to a show last night. About 4 or 5 of them went to a show, and so this Randy Hansen do a Jimi Hendrix thing. And one of them goes, Bill, you know everybody. Did you know Randy? And I go, did I know Randy? Sit down, because I'm going to hold court for about 30 minutes and everything. But man, you got a lot of fans out there, Randy. You still do.
Your brother, when he saw me, he came up. Did I ever tell you what he did when I met him?
I don't know.
He was at the Roxy with Leslie West. Leslie brought him to see me.
Leslie, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm loading my 72 Impala big boat car with my Marshall cabinet, and I turn around, and Sam is coming out of the fog like a bogey movie. He's coming out of the fog, and he's coming right at me, and all I'm hearing is oh, like that. And he gets up close to me, and he jumps down to my feet, and he goes, "Oh, you're Jesus! You're Jesus! Oh my God!" And he's kissing my feet. He starts kissing my feet.
Oh God!
And then he jumps up right in my face. He goes, "You want to go to a party?" And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And he goes, "I got it all written down right here. Meet me there in a half an hour." I went, "Okay." So I go down, and it's Peter Aykroyd's house. And I go to the front door. Nobody answers. The lights are all out. I go to the back door, knock on the door, and nobody answers right away. But then I'm walking away, and this guy pokes his head out the door. And he goes, "Yeah, can I help you?" And I said, "There's supposed to be a party here." And he goes, "There's no party here." And I went, "Oh, okay." And I was about to call it a wash, and then he goes, "Come on in. I'm just pulling your chain. There's a party here." And it's Dan Aykroyd's brother, and I didn't know that it was Dan Aykroyd's brother or
I
anything. And then
didn't even
Sam
know he had a
arrives with
brother.
CC DeVille.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, CC?
me
Yep.
either. You know, so CC shows up with a bunch of girls and Sam and Malika and Sabrina, and Sam starts telling me, man, I want you to be the band. I like to jam in my show. You know, I play guitar and sing too. And he goes, I like to jam in my show, and I want your band to be my backup band. He goes, and then he says this. He says, I want to make your name a household name. That's what he said to me.
Wow.
I want to make your name a household name. And I'm going, why is he being so nice to me? You know, and I go like, wow. And I just like, he blew me away right away. And he went about trying to do that,
Yeah.
you know, and the only thing that got in the way, we're both born on December the 8th. And I swear we were getting gigs on the same night. And we kept on getting gigs. We kept on getting gigs. And Sam said, I already got a gig on that night. And I said, okay, I'll change my gig to a different night. So I would change my gig, right? And then Sam would call me back up and tell me, I'm really sorry, I had to change my gig. And I go, what night to what night? And he'd tell me, and it was the same night I just changed mine too. And I went, oh, fuck. I go, Sam, I can't call him back now. I already made him change it once. No, this happened repeatedly. This happened no more than, you know, probably 5 or 6 times, to the point where I said, Sam, I don't think we're supposed to be working together. I think we're supposed to be working the world, you know. We're 2 different people working the world is what we're supposed to be doing, because we have the same birthday, and we, you know, we're both brought up in Washington State, and there was a lot of similarities. You know, and I totally agreed with just about fucking everything that came out of his mouth. I was going, man, you are so right on. You don't even know how right on you are. But the subjects you were picking, the subjects he's picking, and the way that he chose to talk to people about it was fucking poetry. It was great. I loved it.
Definitely the best.
Yeah, the best.
That's why it's nice.
That's what I tell him. He was the best.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk about nostalgia.
It never got better than that. He could always make me laugh, you know, and I can't say that about most comedians. You know, I might get a good laugh out of a comedian once or twice during their bit, but I used to be in comedy, and when I was in Kid Chrysler and the Cruisers, and I played a character named Toad Murphy, and we had to make people laugh. So I know the difficulty in that. And Sam was fucking a master of it.
I wonder what you think about the world today, you know, about everything that's going on. He'd have an opinion, I'm sure, you know, just like all the other comedians do, but I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I think you'd say this: Biff has got the magazine.
That's right. Back to the Back to the Future reference. He gets that. Well, this has been awesome. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, mostly for all.
It's great. I'm really touched that you wanted to even talk to me. So yeah.
Yeah, well,
and surprising me with Bill, that just blew my mind.
I've missed you.
It's the best show ever, man, because of you two.
Well, you know,
we had a great time.
You see my picture better now. Here's my
Family
picture.
entertainment. That's amazing.
Well,
that's my best friend there, Randy.
All right.
And he just happens to look like Sam, but that's my best friend there.
That's really
do anything for him.
All right.
And man, I can't tell you how you made my day, week, month, year, just being able to see, because I've wondered about you so many times. Where are you at? What are you doing? And just be able to see, man, I love you. You know that.
All right. I love you too, man.
All right,
I don't know how Sean pulls this shit off, but he does a good job at that. Good job, Sean.
Well, look at him. He looks all handicapped, and so when they see him, they're like, well, yeah, help the brother out, man.
Yeah, help a brother. Yeah, I'm poor, you know, whatever. All right, guys. Appreciate you.
But I did ask.
He'd be looking like one of Jerry's kids.
Sure. Bring that back. Huh?
Give me the money.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
We
Happy
want the
birthday.
cure of the money. Give me the cure of the money.
Happy birthday,
The
guys.
The cure
All
of
right.
the money, Jerry.
That's
The
right.
cure of the money. All right, I love you, brother. Let's stay in touch. Let's stay in touch.
All right.
Thanks, Randy.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
All right,
right.
love you, John.
And I set up and brought out this stage with my own two hands. We've traveled this land, backbiting minivans. And all this for the fans, girls, money, and fame. I played their game and had to scream my name. I was certain saying I live and die for this. And if I come off soft, fix you on dance.
Are you scared?
Devil without a claws, and I'm back with the Beaver hats and Ben Davis slack. Bernie Black for stroll, Ernie back a hoe. No Rogaine in the propane blood. Chosen ones off the living roof with a gift of gab from the city of truth. I jabbed and stabbed and knocked critics back, and I did not stutter when I said that. I'm going black, no selling rhymes. I went black, no 7 times. It's still the ill that wanna see us ride. I guess because only God knows why. Fully pound boy, I'm the singer with back. I'm throwing finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say hey, hey, let me hear where you're at. Say hey, hey, I'm giving it back. I'm saying hey, hey, show me some metal and say hey, 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 hey. I like the AC/DC and CZ Top. We'll see this beasties and the kings all proud. Skinner, Cedar, Lip, Corn, the Stones. David Allen Coe and No Show Jones. Yeah! Pass that bottle around. Got the rock from Detroit. Soul from Motown. The underground stone. Bucket mill with tracks that Mac can slap back to back. Never gain away. I don't play with ass. But watch me rock with Liberace flash. Bump rock the class. Boy bands are trash. I like Johnny Cash and Grandmaster Flash. Flash, 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 flash. Dirty cowboy, I'm the singer with black. I'm throwing finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say hey, hey, let me hear where you're at. Say hey, hey, I'm giving it back. I'm saying hey, hey, show me some love and say hey, 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 hey. God.
Yeah. I saw your band shoving around the stage like a bunch of wounded ducks. You'll be the learn, sucker.
American badass, watch me kick. You can roll with rock and you can suck my dick. I'm a porno flick, I'm like Amazing Grace. I'm gonna fuck some hoes after I rock this place. Super fly, living double ride, side grind, my glide, my choke seat and ride. Both sack the shab, bring it flash and fab. Got the long hair, swinging middle finger in the air. Snakes in fruit, 65 Chevelle. See me ride and sit, hear the rebel yell. I won't live to tell. So if you do, get the next generation of big fuck you. Who knew I'd grow a black punk walk over? Say fuck high school, Mr. Not Diploma. Spell the aroma, check my hits. I know it stinks in here. First I'm the shit, 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 shit. Dirty cowboy, I'm a singer with rock. I'm throwing finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say hey, hey, let me hear where you're at. Say hey, hey, I'm giving it back. So say hey, hey, show me some love and say hey, 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 hey. I'm a cowboy, badass and black, singing hey, 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 hey. From side to side, from front to back, say hey, 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 hey. One thing Detroit City, ride all the night, we're singing hey, 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 hey. Big box in the house and that's where I'm at.
I met you because of social media stuff, and I don't remember where I met you the first time.
That was at Little Bobby's
Okay,
during
that's
the
what it
Michael
was.
Twitty
And I
event.
believe I think I approached you, if I remember.
Yeah, you did, because
And you were
I.
blown away that I knew who you were, and I'm like, no. And then fast forward a couple of years, and now, now you're Renegade Radio. We're playing it, on GFB'S, and it's kind of cool how that all comes around.
Yeah. Well, when we first met, I knew that we were friends on Facebook, which
Yeah.
I'm still not sure how we became friends on Facebook. I don't know.
One media guy to another.
Well, maybe.
Because we kind of both have the same paths, just years apart. For absolutely, quite a while, both going to radio and television school, and
Sure.
and going into radio, and it was a lot different because it was so much earlier when I did it, when radio was more relevant.
Yeah.
When people relied on the radio. If there's a blizzard coming, you listen to the radio. There was no, internet. There was none of that stuff, and so you had to go to work, and there was no voice tracking. If there was somebody on the radio, they were there.
Yeah.
And nowadays, my last days of radio a few years back, I could record 2 weeks worth of shows in a day and take 2 weeks off, and most of the time you wouldn't even know that I'm not live.
Yeah.
It's just changed that much.
Which is weird because that technology, but then the technology kind of ruined some things too. But we'll get into that a little bit later here because this is John Roberts. He and I, we definitely go way back a few years. It's weird how, like I was saying, how we met, because we met at Little Bobby's, and as I've told you the story, I always, when you came up to me and said who you were and everything, I didn't know you from Adam, because I assumed you were just like any other radio guy, like, oh, it's nice to meet you, but screw you, type of thing, kind of thing. It's happy to meet you, but it's like, because I've had that experience before in the past where a certain individual, who's blind and they call it a dog or whatever, getting those type of ego type of trips. But I mean, after I got to meet you and everything, then I realized that I think I looked you up a little bit on Facebook and seen that you've done a lot of things. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I tell people, because what you just said to me, Frankie, a lot of people do and say, "Gosh, I figured you'd be more stuck up or whatever." It's just, I tell them, I'm just like you. I just have a different job than you do. That's all there is. And plus,
Sure.
It doesn't do you any good to be an asshole.
Yes.
You're sure not going to pick up any more listeners that way on your radio shows.
That's right.
And like when I come up here, we talk about Carol's Cozy here in Brooks, Minnesota, and in this whole area, Brooks, Plummer, Oakley. We were in Trail last night. I love this area. My great-grandparents homesteaded in Terrebonne, just down the road here.
Yeah.
And I love coming up here because people know me. A lot of people here know me by my real name.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't have to be John.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Well,
Or another name.
in a way, it's your story because it's the truth. I mean, you live your normal life. When you're like growing up and everything, or the areas that you're raised, and then you come here, or then when you get your career, or job or whatever that and then if you're able to give yourself an alter ego.
Well, I didn't give it to myself. Well, I did, but I was told that I had to change my name.
Oh.
Well, because back then, in the heyday of our rock radio station that I was on, we were number one in the valley for years and years. But think about it. Back then, before cell phones and things, your name's in the phone book. Remember phone books?
Oh, absolutely.
If somebody wanted to creep the DJ, all they got to do is look up his name in the phone book.
Yep.
And so you had to go by different names.
Sure.
And I just did a little word wrangle with my first and middle name, and it just went from there. But, I haven't been in radio now for a few years, except for just doing sports play-by-play. But everybody still knows me as that name, so I just kept it when I went into the podcast.
So, do you think it's also like protection for yourself, kind of like in your family, kind of, if you have a different name?
I guess it could, but my wife is very active in my social media and what I do.
Yeah.
I'm an announcer at racetracks and things like that, and she's always with me.
Yeah.
So they know we have two different last names.
Sure.
And the people that really know us realize, well, she's using our real last name.
Sure.
And he's not.
Yeah.
But
it's like, are they a couple? Are they really married? Are they brother and sister? What's going on here?
With social media, if you want to find out something about something, it's so easy to do anyway.
Oh, of course. Well, when I found out your real name, I was kind of surprised, then I started making those everybody loves Raymond jokes. I'm sure you've heard some of those
I'm
before.
a Métis French Canadian, so I fit right into the Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
Red
Absolutely.
Lake Falls, Plummer area. Yeah, it's pretty.
So let's talk about your early days from your pre-radio days. Like, what was life like growing up in the small communities and stuff? I'm sure.
I grew up between Crookston and Gently.
Okay.
And then I had everything. I was racing snowmobiles and motorcycles before I even knew how to ride a bicycle. And then my mom and dad got divorced, and we moved back to my mom's hometown, Thief River Falls, and that's what I consider my hometown. That's where I really grew up and graduated, and went from having everything I wanted and all the toys to having absolutely nothing.
Sure.
And it was weird. I was a jock. I played hockey. I was a runner. I played football. Co-captain of the track team my senior year, and I thought about it. I wanted to go in the military and fly helicopters.
Yeah.
And then we took that career aptitude test, I think, my junior year in high school, and my number one on the list was law enforcement, and number two was entertainment.
Oh, yes.
And I was into music. I'd been playing bass guitar a little bit, and I love music and all the sports and everything. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to apply for radio and television school, and I got accepted. But I started 6 days after I graduated from high school. I had to go right back to school. And that was it. That was the bug. I think the very first day I started class out at Northland, I think the very first day I went on the air.
Oh,
And I can still remember my voice was probably 8 octaves higher than it is now. I was so freaking nervous. It was crazy.
So you had those butterflies and everything, and you just wanted to do a good job because this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah. And now we're talking in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and it's no big deal.
So that's when the shyness kind of went away, or you probably were never shy at all.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever had it. There's times I get nervous.
Yeah.
There's. I did a Republican caucus thing a couple of years ago where I was the only media there, and I was also the moderator and the MC, and I was really nervous there. That was a little out of my wheelhouse, especially when you put me in a suit and tie.
Oh, yeah.
Hat and shaven.
You look totally different.
Yeah.
You're like, who's this guy? Is this a rich guy?
And they don't realize who I am until I start talking. And go, oh, God.
So, did you have any siblings or anything like that you...
I got a sister. She's down in Alabama, right along Floribama, a beautiful place down on the Gulf.
You say Floribama?
They call that area Floribama.
Oh, I never heard of that before.
It's right by Florida.
Oh, it's like between the border of the states or whatever.
They call that
Okay.
area Floribama.
Oh, I thought it had to do like the floor of Alabama.
She's in Fairhope.
Okay.
And she's a class younger than I am. Christy, hello, Christine. And I had a younger brother, Frankie, was killed.
Oh, that's right.
89. He was 20 years old.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay.
My mom still lives at Thief River. I live outside of East Grand Forks, Minnesota, right connected to Grand Forks, and.
But I mean, like, did you guys do anything like what? I mean, growing up together, did you have any, fun things you like to do together, like as siblings, or was there too much of an age gap?
No, but my sister was a lot different than I am. I was so involved in the sports, and so was she. She was a really good volleyball player, and then got in a head-on car crash.
Oh.
And messed up her neck pretty bad, and so she had to give up the sport. I kept on, but she went to school right away at university. Well, I was already done with radio. I got in and out of my radio so fast. I was working right away, and so she went to university and then left early to go be a nanny in Connecticut, and then started working for a precious metal exchange company, and then she went to work for Penske.
Okay.
And now she has worked for like GM, Isuzu, whatever, for probably 25, 30 years.
Wow.
So she's moved from Connecticut to Arizona, back to Connecticut, and now she's down in Alabama. So, so we didn't, I mean, growing up, I had an aunt and uncle that had a resort up in Ontario, so we did stuff like that, and we'd go to the lake once in a while, but no, my mom, I'd schlep us to my dad's house for a month in the summer, or I'd go stay with friends in Crookston, but no, we just didn't do a whole lot. My brother was a little bit younger, so he had his own set of friends, but yeah, we were all just busy doing our own thing.
I suppose when your brother got killed, I mean, that really kind of changed everything in your life, I'm sure, at that moment.
it changed for my mom, especially.
Okay.
She struggled for a long time, but it is what it is,
Sure.
He was a good kid. I'm glad I got really good memories of him.
What do you think life would have been like had he not have got killed?
What
do you think he would have done radio with you too?
No. He wasn't that kind of guy. We probably would have beat each other up a couple of times, and I would have beat him up.
Would he have went hunting with you?
Yeah, he would have.
Okay.
He probably would have been fishing too. Of course, I fish a ton, but he would have. He was into that stuff.
How about your sister? Was she into that too? Kind of like her?
No, not really.
Okay.
Maybe if it's like deep sea, where it's sunny and 85, and you're on a big boat, it might be. But she likes to have fun. She travels a ton. So.
What was your parents like?
Dad was hot rods.
Okay.
That's what he did. He built and painted and customized cars. So he had cars and motorcycles and boats and snowmobiles and my mom was just my mom raising 3 kids, single parent. When my dad died, he had about 300 cars.
Oh wow!
He had yards, lots.
Okay.
Actually, lots, like junkyard lots, full of stuff. It was pretty crazy.
That sounds crazy.
He had one building with just motors and blowers and all these carburetors and.
Well, wasn't that kind of what got you into cars too a little bit, kind of like that, or no?
The opposite. I love racing. My dad doesn't. My dad was the kind of guy that, like, I spend my whole life building these cars and make them look good, and you idiots go out and wreck them.
Oh, sure.
The thing is we don't race that kind of car anymore, Dad. You build your own race car. It starts with a frame.
Uh-huh.
But it was just a different deal. He didn't really like racing, and I could watch 2 kids race tricycles in their driveway, and I'll probably stop and watch. I love racing. I started early.
We know.
Motorcycles when I was 5 or 6. And
Yeah.
just stuck with it ever since. And I could legitimately probably I could make my living in the summer just working at racetracks.
Do you think you could actually race yourself?
Oh yeah, I had a race car, and I bought a car, and I was going to take a year to build it while I was helping another guy with his car who was racing. And then I met my wife, and my wife was a smarty pants and decided she was going to go over to school and get her PhD. And we were getting pretty serious, so we made the decision. I sold the race car before I got it built. She had told me, when I get my first job after my PhD and all of this, I'll buy you another race car.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Fast forward a while because of because of the flood and things like that in '97. Things got delayed, but I picked up my gig at River City Speedway in Grand Forks, and so pretty soon I'm having fun doing trackside announcing and behind the pits scenes, behind the scenes guy. And one day, my wife graduated, got her PhD, got a job in Grand Forks. One day she just said, "It's time," and I'm like, "For what?" She said, "Well, I told you I'd buy you a race car. What do you want?"
Oh wow!
I kind of just went, "I think I'm good. I'm good."
Wow.
A lot of money, a lot of commitment, a lot of time.
Sure.
Right now, I'm still at the track every week. I'm guaranteed take-home money every time I go. I don't break anything, and I have a great time.
Oh, that's good.
I've made a ton of friends in the racing world, and so right now I wouldn't have it any other way. People ask me all the time, "When are you going to retire? When are you going to put me in the Hall of Fame?" That's when I'm going to retire, and that's my goal. I want to keep going until I get into the Hall, Frankie.
So when you first started doing radio, or maybe let's say like your first few, I mean, you've always told us the show or told us the story about like your first few episodes or your first few days when you had to smoke and all that stuff. But like after you did all that stuff, when did you realize that you finally were very comfortable in this setting?
I knew within 2 years of back then it was kind of a game, the rule of thumb was you get hired by somebody, you got to at least put in a year unless they fire you. What I did growing up, especially between like my hometown stations.
Yeah.
I was working at one, and pretty soon you get a phone call, "Hey, how would you like to go out for lunch?" And pretty soon you're lunching with the guy that owns the other one, and before you know it, you're working for them. And it did that, but I had people coming after me early in my career, so I knew I was going to be okay. And and I was already bored with it. I would set my goals, and I'd meet my goals, and then I would move on and go somewhere else. But
Sure.
So I really thought I was still really, really young. I thought about the Army again. And I went and talked. I wanted to go into Armed Forces Radio.
Okay.
I had it narrowed down to Japan or Germany with the recruiter, and I was really, really getting close to signing the deal, and I got in a plane crash.
Oh, that's okay.
And so I was laid up for a long, long time, and the Army no longer wanted anything to do with John Roberts. After
If the
that,
crash
so-
wouldn't have happened,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had your almost La Bamba moment or whatever.
Probably, yeah. And then it was funny because then you fast forward, and again, I meet my wife. Well, my wife did 12 years in the military, and
Yeah.
so she lived in Germany.
Yeah.
And we got to go back and visit her house where she lived in Han, Germany, and things like that. So it was pretty cool. But everything's got its reason for what happens. All four of us in that airplane. In fact, my one best friend just walked in over there. He was in the crash with me.
Okay.
We shouldn't be here. So there's a reason. And,
Yeah.
it's funny how that all works. So yeah. I didn't
So
know
you're
that
saying it was just almost as bad as almost like if somebody got killed.
It was, yeah. I mean, I laid in bed for 7 months, and I went to physical therapy for 6 days a week for another 7 months. I had to basically learn how to walk again.
Okay.
Poor guy over there broke both his legs, his arm, and he was all burned up. And
Jesus.
Took 160 stitches to the face and head.
Wow.
Yeah, it was shitty.
I would say, well, what happened to the pilot and everybody else?
Really bad injuries.
Okay.
The one girl in the back seat came off the best.
Huh.
She was okay, but the pilot was really bad.
Well, what
really
caused this in the first place? Was it bad weather? Was it
we
just
think
like?
it was a wind shear, is what I think, and a
Okay.
crappy airplane.
Oh.
The FCC, the FAA can do whatever they want. They can decide whatever they want, and normally in a situation like this, they call it pilot error because everybody's dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead, so they can say whatever they want. But it took them a couple of years to list it. And they listed it as pilot error, but I don't think it was. They weren't there. And just a bunch of shady shit happened afterwards.
So from the time that you took off till the time it happened, how long did it take?
20 minutes.
So it's almost just like the day the music died, almost like.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of like.
Yeah, we were out in the middle of nowhere.
Small plane too, I suppose.
Yeah,
Very
it was
small.
about 30 below zero. We were in the middle of nowhere. The only thing is nobody knew we were out there.
Well, why the hell were you even on a plane in the cold weather anyway?
I was a pilot, so anytime he got a chance to go flying, he went
Yeah,
flying.
but not when it's below zero.
Still drive your car when it's below zero.
Yes, but you're not going to fly in the airplane in a small plane like that when you know that you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't learn from the day the music died, well, then that's your moment, I guess, when it comes to that.
You're probably right.
That's why I don't fly. I'm too afraid. People can make fun of me all they want for it, but it's like I keep my feet on the ground. And I know they say that you can get in an accident doing anything, but hey,
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can fall in the shower and break your neck.
Yeah,
It happens.
of course. So after all these years that passed, and now you've done lots of other things too, other than this radio. But was there ever a moment in your life where you just figured that, or you thought radio was the only thing you're ever going to do, or did you have your sights set? Well, I want everything, so I'm going to do everything.
I got out of it for a little while.
Okay.
When I moved to Grand Forks, and I was working construction. And pretty soon I worked my way up to a foreman, and the program director at the iHeart station in Grand Forks, I had grown up with him in my hometown. And here, next thing you know, he's a program director. Well, he's kind of seeked me out. He heard I was living in Grand Forks.
Oh, sure.
And so he reached out to me and asked me if I'd ever think about getting back into radio again.
Sure.
Part-time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, why not? Money is money, and you going, okay, you make your radio money, whatever. But and pretty soon it only took a matter of about a year, and I had a daily show.
Okay.
On the #1 rock station, but it was all, I was voice tracking it.
Yeah.
I was working construction anywhere from 5 to 15 hours a day, and then I'd go right to the studio and I'd record. And so you always tried to you had to stay a day ahead. Well, it was almost 12 years. I worked 7 days a week, 12 straight years.
Sure.
Doing that. And then once I got too beat up after 20 some years of doing the construction stuff, I decided full-time radio again. And the opportunity came up where I could quit doing the construction stuff and just focus on radio. And that's when I did. And then it just got to where, you know, my big radio, ginormous corporation overextended itself, and they had to make nationwide cuts, and I happened to be one of them.
So
they offered me a job back after a while, and I just declined.
So before all this stuff happened, because there's a big gap between when you finally realized that this was something that you really wanted to do, but before iHeart changed and everything and blah blah blah. What's like one of your favorite moments from like just doing like the KJ108 stuff?
You know, you could go anything from like we do the Miracle Maker radio-thon for 2 days. My old morning show partner, Dangerous Dave, and I doing some of these interviews after doing 2 12-hour live shows, 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
You're punch drunk, and you get these happy ending stories where you break down and you bawl like a baby.
Oh.
I mean, you can consider that a great moment. Being on stage, introducing bands like Foreigner or Kiss, or you know,
kind of the perks that go with the job.
Yeah. And getting to party with some of these guys. I've got to meet a ton of people, and it's fun. I mean, it's fun, but people only see that part of it, you know.
Well, you're John Roberts. You're not Robert Raymond when you're in these situations. You're somebody different.
Yep.
You go by your stage name, so people expect, you know, that this guy's gonna be very full of hype, you know, and excitement.
I mean, it's just the way I am, though. I mean,
yeah.
And you know, to be honest with you, there's some concerts that I was forced to go to that I really didn't want to, and I'm glad they forced me to, because I came out a bigger fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. More appreciation to music, and that's
my music taste it's all over. I mean, I like classic rock. I like some of the new rock, but I could listen to bluegrass all day too. You know?
I'm sure you're just like me when it comes to, or maybe you're different, but I would like to assume that you're kind of like me when it comes to like the taste of music when it comes to top 40 versus like album filler stuff, deep tracks.
I don't know if I can name a top 40 band.
Well, I'm talking like you listen to the whole, like if you're listening to an album, you're not just listening for the hits. You're listening because you want to listen to the whole thing. And that's how I'm kind of like that. I was talking about deep tracks all the time. Yeah.
That's how we grew up.
Yeah.
You're gonna put a cassette in or an 8-track.
Yeah, you're gonna listen to the whole thing. That's right.
Yep.
And even if there's a song that's never been on the radio, who cares? That's just as important as the song that is on the radio.
Right.
You know, but like when you because I'm sure in your KJ108 days, or even like if you did classic rock or whatever, were you ever just sick and tired of playing the same stuff all the time?
All the time. Let's face it. I mean, radio makes songs.
Yeah.
Radio ruins songs.
Yes.
There were, especially if you're working for top 40 or something like that. Oh my God, you're hearing that same song 5, 6, 7 times a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
You know, I can go back to my old country radio days when Hank Williams Jr. came out with "There's a Tear in My Beer." Remember, because they put the video of old Hank Sr.
Yes, that was like CGI before CGI.
Yep. And that just ruined it for me because
it ruined it. Okay.
You know, there's songs. Any bar band, they're all going to play old time rock and roll.
Yeah.
They're all going to play Moni Moni. And they're going to play these songs that they just beat the death out of them, you know. And I can't stand. You know, God darn it, if you're gonna do that, play some of their other hits, because they had a lot of other songs that.
Or go too deep into their catalog and say, hey, this is a song that never was big, but
without having to listen to old time rock and roll.
I mean, tell me a cover band that ever plays deep tracks at all.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah. Right.
That's sad, you know.
To me, deep tracks are like classics.
Yeah.
You know, to other people, they're. I don't know.
Well, it's just because, you know, you're a music lover, and you know, there's a lot of people that like music, but you know, those are the ones that, you know, if you ask a normal or an average person, will just say, they're like, well, I listen to whatever on the radio. It's like,
those are people that probably eat plain cheese pizza and drink the same type of beer that's probably cheap and whatever. And
Right.
you're a man of style. You probably drink the best beer, probably, huh?
No, I drink Busch Light. That's what I'm trying to get your attention here.
Well, it's only 10:30 in the morning there, sir.
Yeah, we're deer hunting. This is vacation for us, frankly.
Okay.
And all my buddies are over there getting ready to eat, so
Yeah.
gotta eat something. There's a pork chop in every can, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, like I guess when it comes to now your later days and doing the stuff on Grand Forks Best Source, that's you've had your ups and downs with the source too, and now do you think you're at a place where everything's getting kind of the way you imagine it to be?
Well, it's getting there after almost 5 years. Our product is pretty cool compared to when we started. Things have changed a lot since we started. People are at first, the hard part was getting people my age into a podcast because I'm social media stupid. I'm computer illiterate. I can do all the voice stuff and line up shows and interviews and all that, but to make it all look good takes, a pretty good team. And with Paul and Dale, they do a great job. Katie helps out a little bit, and we've got different hosts for different shows,
Sure,
including you and your show. And,
yeah.
But it's getting there. We're from what I do, from being an on-air personality on radio for all those years. Now I'm a talk show guy now, and I'm not a talk show fan.
Yeah. Well, that's where you and I differ.
Yeah, see, and now, my wife loves talk show too.
Yeah.
I don't. But now that's what I do, and now I'm thrust into way more of the political stuff, and I mean, I'm rubbing elbows with county commissioners and senators, and,
Yeah.
legislators and things like that. But we just had a county commissioner who's out here hunting with us this weekend.
Okay.
But it's changed a lot. But I like it because I can say what I want because I'm co-owner of the company, and I know what I can and cannot say. I love taking the opportunity to call somebody out on something when nobody else has the guts to, and knowing that nothing can happen because it's the truth. I really like doing that because when I was working for iHeart, ginormous,
You couldn't say what you wanted to say.
No.
Yeah, you had to censor
They
yourself.
still own the rights to everything I
Yeah,
said there.
yeah, you've said that before. I know that. Now, so with being owner of the company and everything, or part, or with you and Paul, like, do you feel like you are the best source as far as like in Grand Forks, as far as the best place to not only do podcasts, but for people to find you and when you do your show, when you do your morning news and all that stuff, because it's a different format than just doing radio, obviously, and you're doing like almost like sometimes like your morning show is like shorter, and then you do other shows that are longer. Like, do you feel like you're pretty much fully committed?
Yes. And our motto is we started out with giving Grand Forks Best Source, working on giving Grand Forks an identity again.
Yes.
And now we're Grand Forks Best Source. We got Grand Forks their identity back, and we say that because there's nothing local anymore,
right.
except for one radio. One radio company is pretty local. The rest, except for the morning shows, aren't. The newspaper isn't. It's a part-time out of Fargo. Our TV station is no longer. They claim it's Fargo Grand Forks, but you can watch it. They won't even have the weather forecast on for Grand Forks. And so that's what we do. We focus on. We don't even say the F word on our shows,
sure.
which is Fargo.
Yeah.
Fargo's got enough coverage. We don't talk. We've only in 5 years, almost 5 years, we've had 2 people from Fargo as a guest on a show. One was my son because he runs Fargo Youth Baseball. The other one was a hockey coach from Grand Forks who was coaching the Fargo.
Okay.
Otherwise, we wouldn't even.
Sure.
We don't even mention Fargo.
Okay.
Basically, as far as you would drive to go to work from Grand Forks, so we will mention stuff like Brooks or Thief River.
Yeah.
And, out to, as far as like Reynolds and Larimore and
Sure.
Devil's Lake, but no Fargo.
So when it comes to that sort of thing, then why is there no? The Grand Forks is a big city, lots of people. there's nobody else that's doing the same thing that you're doing. That's really like competition, like real competition.
Everybody thinks they can do a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it all over the place. We learned early that people have came in and started with us because we do lease our studio out.
Yes.
And we will produce and host. We learned that people would come in and were trying to figure out how we were doing it and then going and trying to do the same thing on their own. So we kind of learned nobody takes pictures in there anymore, unless you're taking a group photo of being on one of our shows, that's fine, but we don't let people take a lot of pictures of our gear and how we do things anymore. But because I have people every day that walk into our studio and go, wow, this is legit.
Oh, I remember when I saw it the first time.
This isn't like, Bill's down in his mom and dad's basement.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, it surprised me because I figure it'd be in my mind it looked bigger watching it on camera than when you go in there. It's like a small little space. It's almost the size of this little area here.
Cram it full of lights and all the stuff we have in there too. It makes it seem pretty small.
Yeah, but it's been really helpful, and and I feel like it has a good future as far as like longevity and everything.
Oh yeah.
So since you've been doing this and I guess now that you've been with me on Renegade Radio, what have you learned from being on my show? Because I know I've asked you a few times and you give me answers or whatever, but now that we're doing an interview with you, like you've been on for over a year, even though you missed a couple shows or whatever. But what have you learned from being on a show like that?
Freaks me out the good guests you get. I mean, we have had some pretty cool guests.
Yeah, you've been a part of some really good shows.
I have, and the cast you have is. I would really love to go meet these guys, face to face. I'd love to see I'd love to meet all of these guys. Anthony, and I think it'd be cool if we could all get together somewhere. But I've just learned that. No matter what we talk about, it seems like it's always a good time.
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of the same. We all have pretty close to the same damn sense of humor.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we all kind of feed off each other pretty good. And I would imagine some of these guests that they get on, they just got to feel overwhelmed because we can just bombard them with, we look like the old Brady Bunch caption.
Yeah.
Us all up there. It's like a big tic-tac-toe board with all of us in there.
Sure.
You do all of this out of your place here in Brooks, Minnesota. Population,
pretty much.
Is it 117?
Probably.
Put it on my tab. Thanks. It just proves you anybody can do this stuff.
Yeah.
But and your stuff, and it looks legit too. It's not sketchy. I mean, granted, we're sitting in a bar restaurant right now in Brooks, Minnesota, and you're doing this show with your cell phone.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this cool.
Oh, absolutely.
We've been talking about how could we ever make this work, and it just happened to work where I'm here hunting. And
well, I was afraid it'd be too much crowd noise, but it's not that bad, I guess.
Well, these table here is crazy.
But old ladies, anyway. But yeah, and that's the thing about it. That's why I was so surprised, that you, as busy as the guy that you are, would be okay with finding time to because even though you knew me a little bit, but you didn't know me that well, and then you trusted me with the chance, and then look at where we are now.
Well, it's all good so far.
Well, I'm glad to have you on, and I'm glad that we got to do this interview.
When you asked me, I'm like, what?
Well,
I just like to interview you. I'm like,
I figure everybody has a story, and there's a lot of stories that you haven't told.
We could sit here all day with the stories.
Oh, absolutely.
I've enjoyed every. I've been in media business for over 4 decades now, and it's fun, and it's weird because I need to start thinking about stepping back a little bit here. Eventually, I'm pushing 60 now.
Well, I was just going to ask you, the last question, what's your legacy, to sum it up, kind of?
I'm lucky that my body's falling apart because of everything that's happening, but I'm lucky I can still make some money with my voice.
Yeah.
So I don't need it, and I want to keep doing that as long as I can. I put it to somebody this way one time. I kind of want to remain relevant.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But maybe not as relevant as. I don't need to have my nose so deep into everything as much as I do now. It'd be nice to still,
Absolutely.
And I after after doing it for as long as I have, I just, when I'm done, I hope people remember me.
Oh, we definitely will remember you. I'll never forget all the times that we've had together because I want Renegade Radio to last for a while, no matter who's a part of it. I just feel like that, one day we're going to get that moment where somebody says, well, we can't do it no more.
Right.
And then that's going to change everything. But I still want to be a part of it because this is an original creation and I don't want it to disappear. It's the only idea that I've had. It seems like it's work. So, well, anyway, John, I do appreciate you taking the time and coming all the way from Grand Forks just to do this interview, not for hunting or nothing or anything.
Yeah. I even wore orange vest for you.
Yeah, I almost kind of had that. I almost thought you were like dressed like Marty McFly from Back to the Future if he was a hunter. All right, John. Well, I appreciate your time and thanks for letting me interview you.
Tough get rough. Hey, hey, oh.
good.
Check out the pump, brother.
Wanna knock?
What's up, dude? I was born, I was bred, I was southern fed. Got a crazy idea running through my head. California is the place that I had to be. Venice Beach in the pit really set me free. Oh,
Check
yeah.
out the pythons, baby. Would you look at that? Hey, check out the pythons, baby. The hot's just back.
I was hanging, I was banging, I was turning it on. Everybody on the beach knew it wouldn't be long. I took the belt, it was theirs, I don't really care. In the hands of the maniacs, we can all share.
Hey, check out the pythons, baby. Would you look at that? Hey, check out the pythons, baby. The hot's just back.
Fortune and fame was his middle name. Behind as high as the sky, he remains the same. With the training and the prayers and the vitamins too. Don't mess with us, or we'll beat you too.
Are you a Hollywood producer?
Hey, check out the pythons, baby.
Oh my
Would you
god.
look at that? Hey, check out the pythons,
This looks
baby.
real.
The
Yo,
hot's just
1030, you
back.
wanna arm wrestle?
That is so awesome.
What's up, dog?
Would you look at that?
Where's your Harley?
Check out the pump show.
Let's bag this.
Ride my Harley D in the wind, brother. Test the power. Training, prayers, and vitamins. Ooh, look at that new vein in my tricep.
The hot's just back. Hey, check out the pythons, baby.
I packed up my boots and I jumped in my car and I headed for the Sunshine State. And when I got there, I gave her a call. She said everything was great. I needed some time with the boys, and she needed her time and space. So I'll lay on the beach and get me a tan, and I'll play my music with the boys in the band, and I'll send you a postcard whenever I can. Sincerely, the Wrestling Good Traveling Band. I met a girl on the beach yesterday, and she looked a lot like you. She heard the band play late last night, and she thought the bass player was cute. She was down here on her vacation, 'cause she needed her time and space. So we laid on the beach and got us a tan, and we listened to the music with the boys in the band. And I'll send you a postcard whenever I can. Sincerely, the Wrestling Food Traveling Band.
how to stay on track. You gotta train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins too. These are all the things that the maniacs do. Positive thoughts and positive deeds. These are the things that make you succeed. Always be good to your family and friends. They're the only ones that'll be there in the end.
I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends.
When you're looking for something cool to do, just pick good friends to be with you. You better watch out where you are at. You may be judged where you hang your hat. Can you feel the music? Can you feel the beat? You don't need drugs to move your feet. When the dealer tries to push on you, just tell him what you're gonna do.
I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends.
Try to do good each and every day. Don't give up nothing bad to say. Always go swimming with a buddy. Work real hard and always study. If you want to be real cool, don't be so stupid and play the fool. Get your education each and every day. These are all the things that the maniacs say.
I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends. I wanna be a Hulkamaniac, have fun with my family and friends.
I was walking down the beach, looking for some action. Had my radio set on a rap station. Saw a girl in trouble, a sticky situation. She wanted me to give her mouth-to-mouth assessment. We were cruising down the beach, checking out the action. Had my radio rocking to a heavy left station. Putting on some shades, trying to catch some rays. When I caught the lifeguard, messed with my baby. There it is, check it out, check it in. You'll be 6 feet deep if you touch my girlfriend. You know this homeboy can lose control. You just don't mess with the beach patrol. When you're hanging at the beach, you can see so much. Look all you want, but you better not touch. Take it from me, don't lose control, cause you're gonna have to deal with the beach patrol. Pump up the bass. Hey girlfriend. Yo dude, somebody call 911. Look, there it is. Simon to me, baby. Simon to me, Simon to me. Oh boy. Backseat, baby. We're ready. Yo dude. I wrestled at Wembley. I used to tear my shirt, but now you tore my heart. I knew you were a Hulkamaniac right from the very start.
Right from the start, you were my friend.
I'll see
This
you
is not the
again
end.
when the Hulkster comes to heaven.
Heaven, heaven, heaven.
We'll tag up again.
Again, again. The world just lost
Another Hulkamaniac.
a friend to the end. I'll see you again.
I wish Hulk's love could bring you back again. You were my friend, and I'll see you again.
I will see you
When I
again.
climb back in the ring, you know we'll win this fight. I wish you were here at ringside to cheer me on tonight. The spotlight now grows dim, and now it's not on me. The prayers we said together are still our guarantee. You were my friend. I'll see
This
you
is not the
again
end.
when the Hulkster comes to heaven.
Heaven, heaven, heaven.
We'll tag up again.
Again, again. The world just lost
Another Hulkamaniac.
a friend to the end. I'll see you again.
I wish Hulk's love could bring you back again. You were my friend.
You were my friend.
I'll see you again.
The world just lost. The world just lost my friend. He's my friend.
You were my friend.